Hello, Angel.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. I, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Wishing it was Friday, but you get that.
Yeah, we're
Everything
still in the
okay?
middle of the week.
Yeah, the middle of the week. It's hump day, isn't it? That's right. Heidi ho, everyone, and welcome aboard. It is, well, it's Happy Hump Day, isn't it? That's that one going that way. We're going that way, then we go that way. We made it to Wednesday. Sometimes that's a difficult proposition, but not today. I think everything is fine out there in trading land. I don't think there's anything to complain about just now, apart from the fact, of course, that we never got enough money, have we? Let's see if we can fix that today and put some more in the bank. It looks like there may well be a few closures today on my trades. I'll go through those in a little bit, as the pound in particular looks like it may be reversing. We will see. Not fait accompli by any stretch of the imagination, and we will do the best we can. Right, first up, let's have a look. Big O joining us about 10 past the hour. We'll be having a chat to him and seeing what he's got in terms of swing trading land. And I might check in on a few fundamentals as well, because I've got a few questions around fundamentals. And as you know, I'm not a fundamental person. Well, fundamentally, I'm a person, but you know what I mean. Dad jokes, right? Not so good. I do have to do one thing, however. I haven't logged into what do you call that thing? It's coming to me. It's coming to me. YouTube. Yes, I knew I'd get there. So I need to do that. Otherwise, all our angels here. She can put the questions that you're posing to me. Of course, she can, because it looks like I can't log into YouTube anyway. We'll get there eventually. Righto. Let's set this this pound US dollar trade, shall we? We're clear to go in either direction here by the look of it. We're not bound by pivots today. So good to go. A little bit of clear space between both the monthly pivot and the daily pivot, which leads me to ask, where is the weekly? Looks like it's gone AWOL. I must have deleted it. Let's find it. Weekly, that one. All right, the parameters around which we will be looking for a orange, none. We'll take a white, thanks. We don't want lime, we don't want lime, we don't want lime, and we don't want red, or red, or red. There we go. Welcome back, WP. So we've got a bit of a magnet down here in the weekly pivot and the daily pivots. And of course, we have the monthly pivot, which will provide a little bit of magnetic force to the upside as well. Interesting chart, actually. We seem to be mid-range, don't we? Anything could happen here. Right, let's set the trades. I don't think that's going to change too much in the next couple of minutes. So the entry level is going to be 1.3002 for the buy order. 1.3002. The stop loss will be below that bar at 130, incorrect, be 129 something, 129.73 will be the stop loss. 129.73, if I can remember that. It's the swapping of the last two digits, 73, there we go. So that gives us a risk of 29 pips. So we're using 14 pips for our TP1. So we add it to that, becomes 1.3016 will be our TP1. $3016, and TP2 will be double the risk, which again was 27.29, so 58 pips will be 1.3060. Let's dial that in. Okay, so that's the long taken care of. I won't place it until the candle's closed, of course. The sell order will be short at 129.70. 29.70. Oh dear. There we go. Stop loss on that. Now we do have a close of the previous bar. So the stop loss on that is going to be 1.3065. 1.3065. TP1, we'll worry about that in a sec. We've got to set this buy order in case we get blasted in. 130.02. Is the entry, and the stop loss is 130.65. Oh, that's not true. 129.73. There we go. So the long is in place. Now the short, we'll nominate a TP1. I won't go too much further because we might get taken into this long. I'll put the TP level on the chart, 1.3016, which is there. That gives me a nice little visual. And it looks like we will be taken in here. Yes, we have been. Okay, so 1.3016, I don't need to place the short. And if you have placed the short, you need to cancel that order now. Why is the stop loss down there? Oh yeah, that's right. It's in the right place. All good. So we want some buying to come in, obviously. I don't know. Monthly pivot, maybe. Then we come back to the daily, maybe. Who knows? I haven't done much analysis on the pound, but I do note there is a little bit of a whisper about the place that the pound is going to be out of favor for the next little bit. We shall see. Anyway, that's not what we're trading. We're trading a breakout here, nothing more. Righto, so no need to put the sell in. I'll take those parameters off the chart now. There. 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 And there. This is why I don't trade the first candle of UK session. It's no good to my heart because it goes both ways, invariably goes both ways, and it just drives me nuts. That's why I don't trade it. Okay, I'm trying to see where I need to be over here, guys. I won't be a tick. There we go. That's the place I need to be. As I said, Big O coming in very, very shortly. Really want to know what his thoughts are on a couple of fundamentals that I'm curious about. Righto, the pound coming off that high straight away. Dreadful, dreadful way to get in, doesn't it? Hate it when that happens. What else is happening around the place? A couple of things to note. EuroCAD in particular, I don't think I changed this yesterday with you guys because I've only done that overnight. What I have done is move my stops to entry on EuroCAD. And the daily pivot's the only thing protecting that now. Reason. Well, the reason I've done it is we had a tight little range in here. And I saw that range had expanded somewhat to the range that I've currently got on my screen. And we have come off the bottom of that range, and we're probably expecting a lower high to go long. So the stop loss where it was, which was just above monthly pivot, yes, it had that extra protection afforded it. But if this is indeed going to go range bound, then that's not going to be protection enough. And you can see already that the monthly pivot has been broken and retested. I might be a little bit tight with the entry level there, but that's why I've done it, because if we do go long here, I don't want to give anything back to the market, frankly. I want to bank some profit at least on this. Is it the 9th time we've tried it? I think it is. And the 10th may well be as early as Monday or even tomorrow. Who knows? Righto. G'day, PL. Log in and heard you said fundamentally I'm a person, of course. Thank you. You got a bit of humour on the very beginning of Hump Day, PL. Good. Well, I think I am. Anyway, I've been called other things, I know. G'day, John. G'day, Shukri. Can I go over the DXY with Big O getting smashed again on stimulus hopes? Yes, absolutely will. And we'll have a good look at that chart, because it does look, it actually looks a flip-flop to me, where, why don't I put it up whilst we're talking about it? Now, there's an idea, Jeff. There it is. When I say it looks like a flip-flop, let me use the pen to actually describe what I mean. Pictures worth 1,000 words. So we came down to this level here, there. And then we went sideways in that range, there, poked out the bottom of it, came straight back into it, and then burst through the top. Now, on the other side of the coin, we came up to, well, here really, and then we came back inside that range and went whoops, whoops, whoops. So the only time we've been out of that range, really, that range there, is a clear false break, which is break, consolidate, back underneath, retest, bang. But it hasn't gone anywhere. It's only stayed in now a tighter range, which is in here. Tough beast to trade, really tough beast to trade. But let's get rid of all that noise and see if we can put some clarity around that. Claret, C-L-A-R-E-T, is a lovely wine. Clarity is quite the reverse, where we try and give you a clear picture of what's going on. And my clear picture is this. We are below this resistance trend line here. We are below this support trend line here. And we've bounced perfectly off the confluence area. That's a very bearish signal for me. And you probably have heard me say it 100 times before. When I get a confluence area that is as strong as that one, I cheated a little bit here and went up. But then, the reason I'm not drawing a proper line is I can't drive this bloody machine known as Trading View. Let me see if I can put a line on there for you. That should make it clear. Now, this gives you the option to draw a horizontal line, surely. What are all these things? That's the width. I thought there were options. on trend line. Here we go. Here we go. Horizontal line. Look at that. So if we started there, oh, one click. Gorgeous. You can see where we're at, right? That level is super strong, in my humble opinion. So if that's the case, would we be surprised that we've actually come down here? No, of course we wouldn't. The question, of course, remains, how far will it drive us? My immediate answer to that, and short term, I really only see one thing. Is that still a horizontal line? I think it is. Click. Oh, might be learning. I see this range, as I said, which again has been broken to the high side once and only once. And then we've come straight back underneath, and there the confluence area takes over. So am I thinking down here? Yeah, I am. I absolutely am. So I'm thinking 92.13 for the dollar index, which means I'm a dollar bear. Surprise, surprise. I'm sure those of you who know me will not be surprised to hear that. Of course, the issue remains how we find a trade to that effect. Well, it shouldn't be that difficult. There's a whole lot of things that are traded against the US dollar. So let's go back to the charts and see what we can find. G'day, Sino. Yes, that's right. You draw with a pen. That's exactly how you cheat. It doesn't pay dividends though. You've got to use the real ones instead of the imaginary ones. 93.91 is strong resistance, and it turned at a confluence area. I'm assuming that's very similar to the same area I was pointing out, Shukri, but well, let's check. Let's go back there just briefly. 93.91. Yeah, there you go. That's the confluence area, most definitely. Fully agree. Bitcoin just broke 12K, and when the DXY was 89 in 2017, Bitcoin was at 20K. Hello, Crypto Moon. Okay. So what we're thinking here, Shukri, is if Bitcoin's gone that away, the dollar's going that away. Couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. Not on your basis, but on a technical basis. So if all the stars come together, stars, moon, why not? All works for me. So, okay, let's transfer that into how we look for trades. And EuroCAD, as I said, is not involved in this. As I said, we're very, very close to our stop loss, but it's not involved in this equation. I'm going to have a check on pound again, just to see, are we still alive, guys, in the pound? Oh, yeah, we're back in profit. Righto, so get ready to take some profit if we hit that level, right, 130.16. We may be on the way. Shukri, interesting. It retraced and came back through that level. Wow. That's a slingshot 2 trade, yeah. All right, I better get ready here. Close. Don't want to jinx us. Close half at. There we go. All right, we've got still 7 pips to go. I'll hang in here because I'm trading this manually, and if it does reach the level, in fact, I might pinch a little bit off it because we're about to hit DR1. That's a dreadful color, isn't it? It is DR1, isn't it? That's DR2. Okay, we don't want to go through there, do we? So let's get ready to bail out of here, or at least half the position anyway. We'll get out on the next spike. Righto. Yeah, I'll just hang in here, guys, before this. Well, if it hits the level, because as I say, I'm trading manually, and I can't get away from here because you know what happens when I do. It'll go through the level and then it'll come back at the rate of knots, and I won't get the profit. So come on, guys. Who's not buying pounds? Get up there, go on. As I said, if I spike through the DR2 level, I will be taking the profit. I won't wait for that red line. I will not wait. It may hit it, it may not hit it, but I don't care. What's a couple of pips between friends? Let me get rid of that that EA. Watch it, doesn't happen. Don't watch it, it happens, and then retraces very quickly on you. That's the life of a manual trader, of course, and that Spanish person. Yes, manual trader. Got it. This is half the battle when you're trading small time frames manually. You can't get off them. So as boring as this may be, guys, watching nothing happen, I've just got to stay here, right? Just got to stay here and do absolutely nothing until it hits that. Certainly if it hits DR2, as I say, if it spikes up there, I will be taking half off the table and we will go from there. Come along. Now, I'm not averse to the pound rallying, of course. In fact, I think it's quite good because we do have pound Kiwi in the markets, and that's all good for me. All right, there we go, guys. There's the spike, closing at 30.13. So I'm about 3 pips short of my target. That's all good for me. As I said, I don't care if it goes to Shukri's moon. That's all good. So 13, and that was 11 pips. So I've got to move my stop loss now. There it goes. There it goes. I've got to now move my stop loss 11 pips from entry, which was 30.02. So we now go to 29.91, moving our stop loss. Now I'm guessing that Shukri's out, man. He's gone. He's got all his money and he's banked it in the way he goes. That would be my guess, just going by what he said the other day. 129.91 isn't the new stop loss. And as I've said many, many, many times before, guys, that's not a bad policy. Yep, Shukri's out. He's now going to the hotel and he's going to shout the bar. Simple as that. Righto, so TP2, 130.60. That's ambitious. That is really ambitious, I've got to say, but that's the rule. So let's play by the rules. And it may well be, and I'm very seriously considering amending these shorter time frame management rules. And I have already done it really on the 4-hour and the daily charts, where instead of now taking a third off at TP1 and a third off at TP2, we're doing exactly the same as we did here. We've taken half off at TP1 and we're moving our stop loss into a safe place, which of course is the exact same amount of pips that you take at TP1, which was here, from entry, which was here. So now, no matter what happens, you can't be a loser. Of course, you can be a winner if you're now out. You can be a decent winner if you load it up on that rather than taking.
I did not.
Hello, buddy.
Hey, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. Hang on 2 seconds and I'll be with you. Don't forget that this is still in beta test mode, guys, right? And we still don't have the right way to manage this. Aussie Kiwi, that hasn't triggered, has it? Surely. No, that hasn't triggered. In fact, it's now gone in the opposite direction. This may be a false break. If we revisit, yes. I've done the same, Shukri. I've done exactly the same. So we do have an order on Aussie Kiwi, but it looks as though that's a long way from entry at this point. Okay, so updating pound, we have been triggered along. We've got TP1, we can only win on that. And Euro pound should be looking a little better as well. At this point, yes, it does. Pound Kiwi should be looking okay. I was a little bit concerned about pound Kiwi because it came back inside the range, and that still may be the case. Of course, we've taken profit here, but I want the 15x on this one. I think it was 15x, something like that. Anyway, we'll see how that pans out. Righto, let's big warm welcome to the show to the Big O. It's Wednesday, hump day, and therefore we go humping with Big O. What have we got to hump about, mate? How you doing?
Well, how are you, mate? How are you? I'm
Yeah, look,
pretty
fitting well.
happy to be here.
Did you say happy hump day?
Well, yeah, happy hump day to everybody, and most importantly, happy hump day to you.
Thanks, man. Listen, I got a whole bunch of questions for you from a fundamental point of view,
Go
but
ahead.
why don't you show us what you're looking at?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And, and you'll probably answer a few of the questions that I have along the way. And if not, I'll come back to you.
Awesome. Let me just grab the screen, all right?
Sure thing.
Okay,
First
cool.
question.
So a couple of things that I'm playing right now. Well, the thing is that let me just grab where is the equities chart? Well, this should be, well, this is actually the equities chart. Let's start with the dollar, right? Yesterday I was looking at the DXY, around these levels. Okay, so to me, of course, that the US dollar has a lot of weight on it. But the thing is that, Jeff, there has not been any news about the new relief bill out of the Senate, right? Because it has been politicized a lot, But
now, just while you're on that, that was part of one of the questions.
Yeah.
With that deal that Trump said was going to be off until after the election because they were toing and froing. Is it back on the table before the election, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, Jeff, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with the self-imposed deadline by Boris Johnson on Brexit, right? I was trading the short side of the pound last week because of that, and all of a sudden, the team, PM Johnson's team, started to say, my news terminal started to they started to just blink a lot because they started to say that they were going to continue the negotiations afterwards. So this is the same thing, Trump said, and I'll show you the exact candle of what happened. Trump said that, he didn't say, he tweeted that he was stopping the negotiation for the new relief bill until after the elections, right?
That's what I heard, yes.
Exactly. But the thing is that, at the beginning of this week, the news hit the wire that the Senate was resuming their sessions, and that Majority Leader McConnell was going to whip votes for a new relief bill, a $500 billion relief bill. So that gave a lot of pressure to the US dollar. But the thing is that when I heard that, when I saw that, and let me grab just where is it? I was looking at the DXY. When I heard that, I was looking at the Nasdaq at this level, right about here, right? So my thought process was, okay, cool. Trump tweeted that he was stopping the negotiations for the new relief bill until after the elections. But the thing is that he has not say about he has not. He can't decide that, right? I saw on my news terminal that the Senate was resuming their sessions, and that McConnell was looking to whip votes to pass a new or the second relief bill, right? So my thought process was, okay, cool. We get more liquidity into the market, So we're going to continue the upside in equities, right? I
Yep.
got trapped. I got trapped here. I got trapped here. This is something that I do, or I am doing at the moment, right? When I bought the Nasdaq at this level, you know, just looking at technicals, right? Just looking at technicals, this was a good level to buy, a good risk to reward ratio, the news were a little bit hawkish on liquidity, so I decided to buy the Nasdaq here. But because of how the current, the current global, or the current US reality is, I decided that, and I've been deciding this, that every play that I do on equities has to be hedged. So I bought the Nasdaq here, but I also sold the DAX,
Yep.
right? Just to hedge my bets, right about here. But the thing is that right now, I do believe that there's a lot of weight in equities. And the thing is that, Jeff, I mean, returning to fundamentals, I was really looking at the reality of the valuation in US equities and global equities, for that matter, at this moment in time, right? And I started looking at, for example, the Buffett indicator. The Buffett indicator is a not a correlation, but it's a ratio between valuation versus GDP. And right now, the Buffett, right now that ratio is at all-time highs, right? So that, it's about 173% or something like that, which is bubble territory. So that's one of the things. I do believe that the current the current trading price in US equities does not equal valuation in companies. In my mind right now, we are seeing just a pump in equities because of liquidities, but liquidity does not equal profitability, right? And most importantly, we are seeing the second wave of coronavirus cases. You know, in the United States, we are not seeing the second wave because that chart, the coronavirus in the United States has just been pumped. That chart has no pullback. But for example, in the UK, let me see if I do have that chart here, because it's amazing. It's amazing.
I didn't mind that one of that chart there. Just stay on that for a second. Oh, that's the US 100. It's the same chart. It's the Nasdaq.
Yeah, this is the Nasdaq. Exactly. This is the Nasdaq. And I was very happy buying the Nasdaq. Actually, I got long here and I got long here. But the thing is that, Jeff, right now, I have not shifted my mentality into a bearish stance in equities, in US equities or global equities, based on technicals, of course, and but I have based on fundamentals. But the thing is that I have learned the hard way that you have to trade what you see, not what you think, right?
Yeah, indeed. Before you go any further,
yeah,
does this chart or does this index normally play as technically accurate as it is on this chart that I'm looking at? It's pretty perfect.
No, it does. I mean, you know what? It does. I mean,
you've got a lovely double bottom there at the bottom of your channel, and then a higher low. and then you're pretty faithful to the channel all on the way up, the bigger channel, right? The yellow
Yeah,
channel.
exactly.
And then you get to the top there, you get a head and shoulders, the neckline breaks, comes back and retests, then comes back and retests again. Man,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
Exactly, that's what I'm looking for. But exactly. I mean, you just said what I was about to say. Exactly.
Ooh, do you think I can pick what you're going to say next?
I don't know, man. I mean,
No, I doubt it.
that has to be the Tasmanian devil talking inside.
Is that what it is?
But the thing is that exactly. I mean, right now, I mean, we are in at the time. Right now, we are in the middle of nowhere. But this is just. I mean, this is a very, very narrow range. But what I have learned, I mean, is that equities really, really respect levels. You know,
I like it.
Really do. They really do.
You could potentially turn me if this happens all the time.
No, it does, mate. It does. I'm going to give you an example. You know, yesterday. All right, I'm going to give you an example. This is my play on the DAX. You know, this is my play on the DAX right now. I mean, the DAX is one of those indices that it's really hard to trade. But just, I mean, when I saw this, let me just thicken this out for you. When I saw this at the 1300 level, let me grab my brush. When I saw this at the 1300 level, right? So that's a round number. Not only that, but it was a retest in the previous broken level, right? To me, it was a slam dunk short, right? So you have to be patient, but I mean, I have learned that global equities, they do respect levels.
Interesting.
Yeah. The other, I mean, this is the Dow, and this is the thing. Let me show you my MT4 platform, because this is what I'm doing at the moment. Hold on, let me just get rid of this. I'm sure the DAX, right? I'm sure the DAX, but I'm also along the Dow. Why? Because I'm going to show you my rationale on why I bought the DAX, the Dow yesterday, and also why I am hedging with a short on the DAX. And that's the thing, right? When you're, I mean, this is something that I only do with when I play equities, right? Yep. I hedge my bets. Why? And most importantly, right now, because of the uncertainty in global economies, right? And it's.
Do you place an auto hedge, or do you consider what each chart's saying?
I'm sorry.
An auto, well, what I call an auto hedge. So if you're trading white, do you trade black in the opposite direction, or exactly. or is it more than that? Is it? Do you look at the relevant charts?
No, it's not more than. I mean,
okay.
It's just that, you know. I have this short on the DAX, and to be completely honest, this short on the DAX was a hedge on on that long on the Nasdaq, right? But yesterday.
So they're always correlated. Is probably
yeah. I mean, global. Yeah, exactly. Global equities are always correlated. I mean, yeah, they always correlated. But the thing is that, I mean, yesterday, just look at this. I mean, yesterday I saw the Dow, but it was about I think it was around 11 a.m. New York time, and I saw this, you know, that bounce, and the first buy that I got on the Dow was at the break of these highs, because let me show you my rationale on how I play these things, and because I actually I actually would like to hear about, I mean, your what you think about this.
Yep,
Hold
sure.
on. Okay, so hold on, let me. I was looking at this, you know. I know. I mean, I know it's a little messy with the here with the yeah, the sessions volume and etc. But the thing is that yesterday
Man,
the
I feel like I've had a LSD
yeah.
capsule. What?
But yesterday, the range, I mean, the trading range on the Dow was this. This was the range. So right here was the daily lows, right? And when I traded that breakout, this was the daily highs. So that range was really narrow. Okay. And I was looking. I mean, at that moment in time, I had a short on the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq. Let me just get rid of all these drawings because I mean, it's the same thing that happened on the Dow. The Nasdaq did just this. I mean, it went down, and then I saw I saw a rejection candle, right? So I closed that that short on the Nasdaq, and I put on a buy stop above the daily highs on the Dow, right? Normally, I would have put my stop losses below the daily lows, but the thing is that looking on the broader, or on the larger time frames, I saw that that the Dow was retesting these highs. So because of what we were discussing, you know, how equities do respect
Mhm.
levels, I saw a great opportunity to buy the Dow right here, right? So I put my stop losses below the previous week lows. A little bit wide, a little bit wide, but I mean, but my the volume that I traded was lower, so that's completely fine. But the thing is that, and this and I'm about to say is super speculative, in the sense that if we get, I mean, if we get a news that the new or the second relief bill has
Mhm.
passed, equities are just going to fly, right? But it is speculative. But the thing is that just by looking at technicals, made just by looking at technicals, and just by looking at price action itself, I saw this rejection and this rally, second rejection, and this is yesterday's rejection. So the probability of this setup to succeed is higher than the probability of this setup to get stopped out.
Yes, I
Just
agree.
exactly, just by technicals. And the thing is that when trading equities, you have, I mean, personally, not that you have to, but personally, I am very patient and I wait for price to get to these levels. And it's not rocket science. I mean, just to test the previous highs, right? We get here a rejection, so wow, I get in here long with a great risk to reward ratio to test at least the previous the previous highs, right? So here, uh, yeah, that would have been a great entry, but my entry was here. So uh, a little better than one to two to the first target. So that's the reason that I took that long. And the other reason that I felt comfortable taking this long is because I'm short the DAX. So this long is hedged with that short. And the thing is that yeah, when you're hedging your bets, the probability of the hedge being profitable is higher, right? But I mean, the profit that you're going to make while hedging is going to be lower. But right now, I wouldn't take a trade on equities without being hedged. That's just me, right?
Interesting.
That's just me.
I have to think too hard to do that. That means I've got to have a thought process. Okay, if I've got to set up, yeah, and it's automatic for you. That's why I asked the question. It's not automatic for me because I don't know of the correlations involved with equities. Got nothing, and until I'm back full-time trading, I won't, because I just haven't got time to look at it. But that chart for me again is perfectly clear, where, as you say, we're broken above the previous highs. And we've come back and retested them. And we've got a clear range that's starting to form with the two lower highs off the top and the two lows that you're looking at there now, where your yellow line is. If you go up just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Then that's
just about here, right?
Yeah, I've got a box forming there, right?
Exactly. You got a box. I use that. I mean, I really like you, mate, because that's the way that I describe this. This is a box trade.
Yep, perfect. Top to bottom, bottom to top, and until that changes, you just keep doing it. Repeat the process.
Exactly. The other,
you've got to have a method of getting in. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And if you're trading levels as you do, that's not. And in fact, I'd love to sit down and have a few beers and talk about this, because today I answered an email that I've had sitting in my inbox, and to the person who sent me that email, my sincere apologies. I had no idea it was there. I got no warning that it was. It was just sitting in cyberspace, and when I went into the email, it was there from 5 months ago, and it was all to do with trading ranges. I'm going to talk about that in the US session, how I do it this evening, because it is a little bit more complex than you would actually think, because I just don't trade the bounce off a level, but I'd love to be able to have the confidence to do that. That'd be super duper. But you respect the key levels, right? And
yeah, I mean,
that's what you live and breathe, key levels.
That's what I do, key levels. I mean, that's what I do, key levels. But
I do as well, but I then wait for confirmation after I hit a key level.
Yeah, me too, mate. I mean, me too. I mean, right now we're just talking about levels, but I don't. I mean, I don't enter. I mean, I don't trade the levels blindly. I mean, let me show you exactly my entry here on. Actually, it's not that good, but well, I'll show you. Yeah.
All right, I'll just butt in for 2 seconds. Yeah, I will definitely answer your yen question.
This was my entry on the DAX, right? I mean on the Dow. But I mean, if I were to show you exactly how I wait for confirmation, this is the exact. I mean, this is the exact example of how I wait for confirmation, right? For example, this short on the DAX that I have right here, or that I'm running right now. I mean, I saw this rejection of the 13,000 level, 1300 level, but I didn't enter blindly. I mean, I waited for the previous low to break, for this reversal pattern to break, etc. Right? Yeah. I mean, there's some rules that I follow, and I mean, I would love. I mean, I really don't think. I mean, scratch that. I'm never going to be the trader that puts. I mean, that enters at this high, because I think you and I think you see this the same, that I mean, entering at this high is just to me it's gambling, right? Because there's no confirmation. I need confirmation. I mean, I'm going to be maybe I'm going to be one of the last traders to enter on this short.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
you'll be in the tie with me, mate, I reckon.
exactly, but how we're going to be confirmed that this, I mean, that the price is going to go down. I don't care about, I mean, I don't care about shorting the highs of the move. I'm never going to do that. I mean, you're going to get burned so much if you try to pick highs and lows. That's not the way to do this, in my opinion, mate. You know,
No, I agree.
in my opinion, I mean, that's my
It,
humble opinion.
it's a mug's game. It really is a mug's game. Unless, unless you want to trade like a scalper and be in front of the chart every second and be willing to take profit, in 5 seconds time.
Yeah.
That's the
Have you
only
ever
way you
done
can do
that, mate?
it. No, no, no.
Yeah, me neither. You know what? I ask you that because every single trader, when they're starting out, they try different strategies and they try different approaches. But I've never scalped the markets. I mean, that was really not for me.
No, I'd have to have a bottle of whiskey by my side to do that because my nerves would be just shattered in about 5 seconds.
I mean, definitely. I mean, and you know what? And you know what? And the thing is that just imagine that. I mean, you're scalping the markets, right? And you short the DAX right here, and you take profits here, and then you see the market just drop like this. I mean, I would be crazy, you know, of not holding that short all the way.
I've got to say that bar is a bar I would trade, but I wouldn't trade it at the top of the bar. I'd trade it at the bottom of the bar.
This one,
Yep.
yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason that I entered at the breakout, I mean, on this green line was because of this kind of a pattern, this kind of immediate structure, right? Um, one of the things that I hate the most, mate. One of the things that I hate the most is entering on a trade and getting stuck in a range like this. I mean, I hate that, and that's a good
Sucks,
way to
doesn't it?
yeah, that's a good way to burn money. So I mean, like I told you, I always wait for on a short for the previous low to break and a clear. I mean, and a clear breakout. And if you, and this, I mean, this is my trade. Hold on, this is my trade. And if you, I mean, if you look at my risk to reward, I mean, my stop losses are kind of wide, right? My stop losses are kind of wide. Hold on, let me just move this right here because I'm about to take profits. My stop losses are kind of wide, right? But I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this. I'm really not looking to snipe the top to get a 1 to 20 risk to reward ratio because that's unreal to me, and not unreal. But most importantly, that's not. You cannot do that every single time, right? And I mean,
Do
having
you need to
a
manage that? Do you want me to
yeah, please
take
do
over for
so.
a few minutes?
Yeah,
Yep.
please do.
I'll do that. You manage that. And looks like a good one. I'll take the screen and have a little check up on the questions that we need to answer.
Awesome.
Okay. We've got Euro Yen. Let's have a look at that, shall we? I think we were talking about yesterday's position. Sino, 2 trades, wasn't it? One was on the 4-hour, one was on the daily. Okay, so no, I have cancelled both. I was considering my options today, and they're so far getting close to playing out. Not there yet, of course. What I want to see is this. And I may be a little bit demanding, of course, but I definitely want to see this happen. Price down to here, close below the monthly pivot, then come back and retest the confluence area of daily pivot and trend line. And that then becomes a trade. Short under here, high risk, short there. I don't play that, but I played the second bit. Short here, target TP1 weekly pivot, and the rest is cream. So that would be exactly what I'm looking for on euro yen. And look, the daily chart, if I go back to the daily chart, and we did have a trade yesterday on the daily as well as the 4 hour. Let me do that. Get rid of that. Go there. And daily. That changed because, well, two things really. We took out the stop loss, which was, can't remember where the stop loss was. Probably just above the monthly pivot, I think. So that would have been, well, it's no longer a stop loss point, is the way I'll put it, and the monthly pivot's been taken out. The key to this is what happens next, right? Is it a break and retest of the trade line? This is every single time we go to a trade line, right? No, Ash is not in, Alan. Day off today. Every single time we go through a trade line or to a trade line, we're looking for one of two things to happen, right? We're looking for a bounce or a break. We got a mini break, in my humble opinion. If we now get a retest of that trade line in a decisive selling bar, and let's say it closed on the monthly pivot or even below the monthly pivot, then that's telling me that if price were to go back to this area, it's going long. Why? Well, a few reasons. The biggest and most decisive candles here are bulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're having a crack, right? And who's to say they're not going to have another crack? And the best time to get into that move would be when there's an acceleration point. And the acceleration point is always going to be through the previous high, if you like, of that bar. And even more so, there'll be an acceleration point here as well. Why? Because these guys here who got into the short have got their stop losses here right now. And what that means, of course, is these orders are buy orders. So if we actually hit that level, we'll get an acceleration point right there. So it'll go bang, bang. You'll get an acceleration point as the buyers come in. And then you'll see, okay, there's been a shift. And then those who are sitting on the sideline will go, all right, we're now going long. We're back to trend, and they'll jump in as well. So you should get a test of the highs at the very least. It's kind of important to understand that. Well, it's no more simple than what I just described, really, Sino. An acceleration point is where there are orders, right? There's liquidity. And liquidity comes in two forms. It comes in new orders and in stop loss orders. So consider, and this happens a lot, right? We just saw it on Orlando's chart of the NASDAQ, where he had exactly the same scenario as we've got here, right? Where he had a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, a neckline that broke and was retested. Again, I've made that a little bit of an upward line there that probably a bit of a cheating, but he matched the neckline here. Price fell away as the sellers came back in because they're not stupid. They see this, right? This is a time-honored thing where a neckline becomes retested. And then the second retest, which is exactly what we saw on Orlando's chart, which is why I mentioned it. It's far clearer on his chart than it is here. The second retest is the one that you really want to get onto because that's the one that sends it this way. Now, it may not happen, which is why we have to trade it sensibly and not as, okay, I've seen this happen before, let's get short here. Because it may not happen. We don't know that. We haven't got any confirmation at all. It's just a pattern like every other pattern. And you can't trade every other pattern. You have to wait until there is confirmation. If I'm a gambling man and want to speculate here, yeah, I'm going to sell right there. And I'm going to put my stop loss up here. Because I've seen this happen many, 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 many times before. So that is my analysis. Most definitely, we're going short here. But if we don't, then guess what happens? The other thing, we're going long. So this bar here is crucial. If this doesn't close where I said and stays above the trade line, then all bets are off for mine at that point. I've got to see a decisive bar come back and test something. And that's something is clear to me. It's the monthly pivot and the trend line. So
And
that's where I'm at with that one. Sorry,
you're
mate?
more than willing to flip your bias if that happens, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no question.
That's the
You know,
thing.
but the governing pattern right now for me is this head and shoulders. And as I said, the chart we looked at, your NASDAQ chart, was exactly this setup. Same thing, where you had a retest of the broken neckline and then you got a second pump at it. And then the market fell away. And that's exactly what I'm expecting to happen here. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. And therefore, I have to wait until I get a confirmation.
I completely agree with you. How many? I mean, I can't remember how many times when I was first starting up, mate. I can't remember how many times I got burned because I did not wait for the confirmation.
Yeah, it's a very common thing because, you know, there are sharks out there known as traders, institutional traders, who are waiting for people like us. You know, they're waiting for us to do dumb shit.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's where they find their liquidity because they know there's stops here, right? They're not stupid. So guess what? They'll try and if they're of a short nature, if the big boys are of a short nature, and they want to pump, let's say, I don't know, $5 billion into a short here, then there's no point. Beg your pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's no point them going short here because they missed their price. Price has already been driven down. So their only option, if they put a $5 billion order in there, guess where they're going to get put in? It won't be there.
Oh,
They might get put in here.
exactly.
So they've missed that price. They've missed that price. And they've got this price. They won't be happy with that. So what they would do is they might put, I don't know, 500 million into a buy order. And then they might put another little bit into another buy order. And then all they need is buy orders here to fill their sell orders.
Exactly.
And they know that there are buy orders here, right? So there's their liquidity grab right there. And they know that. They're not stupid. So that's what they would do. They drive the market to there and then they dump the whole lot. And not only can they bank that money, they're then going to bank this money down here. And they'll probably get out at the first resistance or support level.
And you can see that every single time that there's some big data coming out, you know, some big economic data coming out. I mean, non-farm payrolls, you can see, you can always see exactly what you are describing. You know, for example, let's imagine that, you know, employment numbers missed in the United States. We're going to see a pump in the US dollar before the dump. Always, you're always going to see big boys hunting those weak positions to get filled, and that's the liquidity. And and that's the main. I mean, that's the main reason that I always keep my stop losses kind of wide. You know, I mean, I mean, and the thing is that, Jeff, I mean, right now on what you're just showing, for example. I mean, on a speculative short right there and putting your stops just below that high, to me, that high is not a high because it's not, because it's not within the structure in the sense that it's not a confirmed high, right?
This latest potential high, this one.
It is a potential high, exactly.
Yeah, it's not up by yet. That's right.
Exactly, it is a potential high. So, retail traders, they always look for the best risk to reward ratio. So they're going to look for the to put their stop losses uh, super near their entry, and that's why they're going to get stopped out
Yep.
a lot of times because of those moves. I mean, they're going to get stop hunted. Yeah, I do
Which
get
is exactly what I've just described. That's
exactly
how it works.
exactly what you just described. Exactly what you described. Exactly.
So I hope that gives you some insight, Sino, into what acceleration points are. They're not always stop hunts, no question about that. But they are areas where you would expect to find an order or a bunch of orders. And
Exactly.
generally, they're going to be either stop losses or breakouts, which in most cases are going to be the same thing.
And you know what, Jeff? That's why I like to look to I like to look at historic volume. I mean, I trade levels, key levels, but but my key levels or the key levels on my charts are always. I mean, I draw them because that is where historic volume has been traded. And the reason that I always look for historic volume is because those zones are where, I don't know if you're going to think that this is counterintuitive, but the thing is that I do believe that those zones are magnetic, in the sense
Of
that
course they are.
key zones, key levels. For example, on the chart that you're showing right now, that the pivot that you have right there is the weekly pivot, right?
This one, the white one, yep.
Yeah, the white one is the weekly. So the
Yep.
green one is the monthly.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So if you look at the monthly pivot, the previous monthly pivot, not the current monthly pivot, but the previous monthly pivot is right at a to me at a big zone, right? If you, I mean, just by looking at the candles, just by looking at price action itself, you can see that when price came down to that pivot, you got some really massive rejection. And then when price came down and retested that pivot, we got that massive doji, right? And we're looking at daily charts. So that is that monthly pivot to me is a key zone, right? Why? And why? Because exactly that zone. Because just by looking at those candles, just by looking at the weeks of those candles, right? Just by looking at price action itself, I can tell that there is where massive volume was traded, and that's something that I don't know if our listeners or watchers know, but when you see a chart and you see that price is ranging or chopping, right? Just chopping. That doesn't mean that there's no volume being traded. That means that there's massive volume being traded, right? And that zone to me is the zone that I would definitely look for shorts or longs. But the thing is that volume, I mean, historic volume, I have found out that that is where big orders in the future are going to be placed.
Yep.
Exactly.
Makes
And
sense.
it makes sense, right? I mean, those zones in historic price action, those zones of massive or big volume, is where in the future big money is going to be placing their orders, right? And what we're doing here, of course, trying to make money, but also in my mind, trying to piggyback on big money. Why? Because we don't have the
Oh, Sorry,
We
sorry,
don't-
mate. Take TP2,
Go ahead,
guys.
go ahead. That's
Take TP2.
that's a gorgeous trade.
So we can either suit yourself. I'm going to take something off the table and move stops to entry. Okay.
Yep.
So 3002. Okay, cool.
That's a nice trade.
Yeah, well,
And you know what? And you know what?
works,
You know
mate.
what, mate? You know what, mate? It's funny because right here where you took partial profits. I was just looking at my chart. Let me just. Can I show my screen just for a second?
Yeah, of course you can.
All right.
So
cool.
I know you're welcome, mate, and I hope that does help. It's always nice to know what the big boys are thinking.
Yeah,
Always.
definitely. Most definitely. So that was the pound versus the US dollar, right?
Yep.
So cool. Just look at my chart. Right here. I even have an alert here. Let me just see what that alert says. Top of the range hit. I'm gonna delete that because I mean I'm just watching it. I don't need an alert. But the thing is that I mean it's great that how that you took profits here because that is exactly what I have done. You know.
Yeah, makes
And,
sense.
yeah, just by looking at at historic price action, you know, just look at this. I mean, this is where buyers jumped in and rallied price of the pound, on the pound for about what 432 pips, and then when we broke to the downside, of course, that this is where sellers were positioned once, twice, and right now we have just hit that same level. So what you just did there is super, super disciplined. And that is, that is the way that you have to trade.
Trade with a
Because
plan, buddy. You got to trade with a plan.
exactly. I'm really going to clip this because it's spot on how you need to trade. Why? Because you don't know. Because the thing is that and this is just for everybody listening or watching the show. You don't know. Because this is such a massive zone, right? Where sellers are positioned, right? The way that I look at this is this, right? Here you are going to have a lot of sell orders, a lot of sell orders. So right now, buyers are in control of the market, right? Immediately, buyers are in control of the market. But here at this level, buyers are going to encounter a lot of sell orders. Layers and layers and layers of sell orders. And you don't know, we don't know, no one knows if buyers are going to be able to swipe all those sell orders. That's why what Jeff did right now to take partial profit and move stops to break even is a slam dunk trade management. That's why it's a slam dunk trade management, because you don't know if buyers are going to be able to swipe all those sell orders and price is going to continue to rally. You don't know, right? If you don't take, if you don't take, if you are in that buy trade, right, in that buy trade in the pound versus the US dollar, and you don't take at least half of your trade here, you are, you, in my mind, you are gambling, right? Because it's wishful thinking, right? And one of the most important things you have to get rid of, and this is, this is for everybody that's watching the show, and this comes from personal, from personal experience. You know, everything that I say comes from personal experience. I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, I'm just an average trader that has been through the jungle, you know, with a machete. And this comes from personal experience, right? If you don't take profit here because you think and you hope that price is going to continue rallying, you go from having a plan, trading a plan, to wishful thinking. And that is where you're going to, I mean, not burn money, but it's so hard
Yeah,
to get.
yeah, you will. You'll burn money.
Yeah, definitely. It's so hard. I mean, it's so hard to get yourself, I mean, to put yourself in a position that you're making money risk free, such as in this case, that I mean, if you put your, I mean, it's so hard to, I mean, it's hard to be disciplined enough to get in good setups, but if you don't respect that, uh eventually, what I mean, the probability of a pullback from this level is very high. I mean,
It's not just the horizontal level either, mate. It is, we are at DR2. We're above DR2. I don't know how many times I've pointed that out, that price does not like it above DR2 too often.
on
Not
the
saying
on
it can't go there. What I'm saying is it's high probability not to go there.
exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, and I'm just talking about. I like to talk about this kind of stuff, because I learned it the hard way, mate. And
Yeah, we've all been to the school of hard trading, Knox. There's no doubt about that. It's the only way to survive, because you have to learn by your mistakes.
yep, that was a great trade.
Yeah, look, we just trade that every day. It's sometimes bad, sometimes good, but the principle behind it is sound. And if we get the right conditions, obviously we make money out of it. If we don't, then guess what? We have to get ones like this to make up for the ones that don't. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Buddy, just very, very quickly, what are we trading today? Anything?
Well, listen. Right now, I'm really not looking into. I don't have really. I don't have a setup. I mean, I'm really not looking into trading today. Well, um, just let me go through why I'm not looking to trade. Maybe I'm looking. I mean, maybe, but hold on. Let me grab my breath.
Not sure, guys.
Yeah,
Hang on a
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Yeah, there's something there I want to do.
Yeah, but the thing is that I just spent an hour before the show. I just spent an hour looking through my charts, and really, there's absolutely nothing. I mean, to me at least, there's nothing that I would like to put money at risk on. Uh, Yesterday I was trading. I mean, and the thing, and I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday I was trading the short side of gold. I traded the short side of gold once and twice, and I mean, that trade was super heavy. I mean, it was awful, yeah, but I mean, I felt like I was fighting against the market, and that's one of the things that I just hate to feel. So right now, I mean, right now, I really don't see anything too obvious,
Yep, cool.
to get into.
The wonderful thing about trading, Orlando, is it isn't compulsory,
Yeah,
and it should be treated that way. You don't need to be in the market.
you
It's not
don't.
a thing. It's not a
I mean,
thing.
flat is a position too.
You bet it is. And I don't mind flat. Horizontal, no, I won't go there. All right, buddy. Look, that's fine. We don't need to take trades, as I said. I've got to go and pack my van because I've got a big day of deliveries up the north of the state tomorrow, which is why if anybody of you are in the show here now and part of my TTR group, there will not be a show tomorrow. I think I've sent out emails to everyone who's concerned with that, but I will be on the road and, of course, back for this session tomorrow. and we'll do it all again, guys. Mate, thank you so much. I reckon that's very nice education today. We learned a fair bit.
Thank you for having me, mate.
Always welcome, buddy. We will need to catch up at some stage and have a beer or 17 somewhere.
Yeah, definitely 17. Definitely 17 after this meeting.
I might be too old by the time it comes around that we can do that.
No worries, mate. No worries.
17
no worries.
might be too many for me.
Listen, I just had 15, so you can catch up. No, I'm just kidding.
I
This is how I sound because I'm Latino.
Amazing. Guys, this is a common theme, and what we were talking about before, which is the neckline break retest double test, is now in play on most of the Euro pairs, I think, but certainly on this one. Now, It could well be that this is a genuine breakout, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, as though it is. But I think it's more dollar-based than it is euro-based. And
yeah, it's dollar-based. I mean, the dollar is crashing at the moment.
Yeah, expect that to continue, I think.
Definitely.
Got no faith in it at all. EuroCAD, we're just hanging on. We've taken profit there. Our stops are at entry. If we get taken out here, I will again look for, I think, the 10th entry short on this one. And we're just making little bits along the way, but we're making little bits. That's the good part. Euro pounds coming back now, which is cool. Again, our stops are at entry on this, having taken profit once again. Look, I like this as a scale in if we get the opportunity. Now, everyone's telling me that the pound's going to crash, right? I don't care.
That. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't care too much for what everyone else says. I have to look at my charts, and my charts are telling me that we've just bounced off the top of this range for a fourth time, and we've come underneath this immediate trade line on the 4-hour chart. A retest here, I reckon, is a scale in for me for the short. The problem, of course, is we've got the monthly pivot and the weekly pivot dead ahead. Maybe we're better off trading this line here and getting back underneath there, then retesting the whole confluence area. Then we can scale in. The problem with that, of course, the closer we get to the bottom of the range, the harder it becomes. So we really want one of two things to happen. We want this to pull back a bit and then get a little retest bar that comes back to the daily pivot, so we've got room to take profit before that confluence area, or we want these all to crash, then come back and trade short from here, taking profit at the bottom. And I think we'll be okay if that does set up. Of course, we're still in this trade, and I think we've got, I can't remember how much we've got left in. I think it might still be half left in, I'm not sure. But we are at entry with our stop, so that's all good. Pound Kiwi, we got into this yesterday. We have taken our first profit. We are safe in the market because we've taken half off the table, and we've got our stops exactly the same amount that we took at entry, which was 58 pips of risk and 63 pips. So we've got our stop loss at 58 pips, minus 58, which is at whatever it is, 150, 195.60. That's 62. Okay, I mustn't have moved it. It's close enough to 1-to-1 anyway. So again, that's pretty much risk-free. What do I want to do with this one? Nothing. Wait till we get up to here, and then we'll make another call if we get up to here. Looking okay at the moment. It's going to test this high, I would think. We shall see. CAD Swiss, I'm still looking for price to get down to here so I can look for a long, but it may not do that. This is the daily chart I'm looking at. The 4-hour chart has shown me that it's come back above this support trade line. We've got a double bottom followed by a higher low, a higher low. Then it gets messy. We're going the other way. We've got a head and shoulders here. We've got a dreadful neckline. We saw this, and that's why we considered that it might come back and retest these lows before we go long. Look, that's a clear false break, no question, but I can't trade long here. It's impossible for me to go long. We've got a monthly pivot. We've got a weekly pivot. No,
Yeah.
we've got a trade line. It's too dangerous to go long here. So let's get this back down here where we wanted it, and we can look to buy it from there. Kiwi CAD, we're still in that. It has come back at us, of course. We've got our stops safe. Again, we've taken profit and moved our stops the same amount of profit that we took from entry. So we can't lose, but I've got high hopes for this. This candle, of course, is giving us a little bit of grief. In 43 minutes, it will close. Oh, sorry, that's the daily chart. 4-hour chart's the one I wanted to look at. Don't be surprised, of course, if that comes back to here, or maybe even a little bit higher than that. Entirely possible. So don't get your knickers in a knot if that were to be the case. I can't see this reversing anytime soon. I just can't. It doesn't mean it won't. I just can't see it happening. We've got a nice little daily pivot test going on here. I reckon if we get to that level and you're not in this trade, it may even be worth considering.
Give you another opportunity, right, mate?
A sell, yeah, absolutely. So that's my thought process there. Euro Aussie didn't quite make it to that. I think it did. That's moved. That level was there. How does it do that? Which is exactly where this thing has bounced. Now, do I want to play a false break here? Yes, I do. But do I have any reason to do that? And the answer is no, I don't. I don't even have the slightest inclination to trade this yet. If we got back as a bounce off the daily pivot and put in another rejection of this level, which is what, 160, let's call it 168. If we got another rejection of this level and then a lower high, then we can start to think about it, but not yet. And yes, I am bearish to the short side. So I'm biased to the short side, let's put it that way. Now, Euro Kiwi, it's very, very tough to be thinking short Euro Kiwi. And that's because I think the Kiwi's got a bit of a problem. So it's a bit tough here. We're in a little bit of a jam. If we get back underneath this trade line and retest it, I've got to think about it. I really do, because the structure's telling me that we're bouncing off it. And if we come back underneath here, it gives me a false break of this trend line. I've got to think about the short. As long as there's plenty of room for profit here, I'll probably look at that. But your stops are going to have to go above the range. So they'll be pretty wide. That's not a problem. But look for that one. The 4-hour chart, of course, will be the first one that you'll be looking at. So back underneath here, back to the daily pivot, lower high. I reckon that's tradable without question. Euro yen we spoke about. I would like to find a way into that, most definitely. And if I look at that chart there, what do I see? I see 3/4 of a setup. All we need now is in 40 minutes, this to settle below the monthly pivot rather. So close here, then come back to the trade line and daily pivot. Then we've got a trade on our hands. Entry here, TP1 here, TP2 here, and you can either close it there or wait for the reversal, which I think is on, and I think this can go a fair way. We can go down to here, which is 1,000 pips from where we are. Yep, pretty close. So if we can get into this on let's say from there back to here, say a 30 pip risk, or even if you wanted to be conservative and get up to here, a 70, 75 pip risk, that 1,000 pips doesn't look too bad, does it?
No, not at all, mate.
So just keep that in mind. There's obvious take profit levels.
Looking at the same, I was looking at the same chart was you were talking about it.
Okay, cool. Yep, just got to wait for the setup, and if it's there, then happy days. I think that's just about expired me. There's nothing really. You dollar yen, gee whiz.
No.
I was telling my guys this morning that I would love to get into this, and it's giving me all the signals. It's giving me a false break of the resistance trade line. It's come back and retested the monthly pivot after it's done that. We've got a low test bar here, a lower high here, And the only reason I'm not going to trade this is because it's at the wrong spot. Look at that. Unbelievable. I cannot catch this. Orlando, I just cannot. Every
No.
time I try. I can get a first take
Really?
profit. I can get a first take profit, but that's it. It just comes back on me. I think we got short here, back on me. We didn't get short here. Maybe we should have. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go and cry in my. I'm going to have a glass of wine over dinner.
Yeah, I mean, the US dollar yen has been a tough trade. I mean, I feel you on that one.
Look, it's just another day, isn't it? Another trade.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, you've still got a double bottom sitting here. This could turn around, no question, but it certainly looks very, very bearish at the moment. If you're in it, I hope you're in it, and I hope you get a shit ton of money out of it. Mate, I've got to go. Thanks for your company, mate. I'll catch up with you. You're on in what, hour and a half?
No, I mean about 3 hours. I mean about 3 hours.
3 hours, okay. DXY getting crushed again. Yes, it is, Shukri. Did we see that coming? Yes, we did, Shukri. Did we do anything about it?
How's your Bitcoin or wallet doing?
We haven't really done much with my wallet because we've had other things to talk about, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We'll fill it up. We'll go to the moon. Shukri says. Guys, I've got to go. Thank you so much for your company. We'll be back on the air, of course, after Orlando, not too much after Orlando. And actually, it's solo me tonight. And I'm going to go through a fair bit of slingshot stuff that you guys haven't been exposed to yet, which will be
all right, mate.
Interesting for you. Thank
you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
You're welcome, buddy. I'll catch you when I catch you in a fortnight from now, but hopefully I'll duck into one of your shows in the meantime. I've just been way too busy to do that, but we'll see.
Yeah, don't worry. If not, I'll catch you after my show today.
Oh yeah, come in, mate. Pop in. Absolutely.
All right,
we'll
cool,
have some
mate.
fun.
Yeah.
Righto, guys. Got to fly. Have a good one.